What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over some updates to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They posted a roadmap trailer and also a press release separate that had one or two extra things that I want to go over, and it pretty much just covered, well, the rest of 2025. Now, we knew because of the additions to this game, right, that obviously there's going to be extra content. There's a whole, expansion pass, and they kind of went over that in this video as well. But there's also going to be a lot of free stuff, and I want to kind of just go over what they said and then go over my opinion, because I will say, while I've been pretty high on this game, I do think things like this could kind of go either way depending on how it shakes out. So basically, in terms of the actual expansion pass, it's three different things, right? You got a summer expansion, you got an autumn, and you got a winter. Now winter, normally, you can literally look at like what season winter is, but sometimes winter is like January in the gaming industry, so I don't know if all three of those would definitively come out in 2025, but it seems like that's the plan, right? Like they say winter, but that would probably mean December, and all three of these would hit 2025. But they also talk about, some free updates that are going to start through the spring. And then by the way, the press release talked about how that's also going to continue throughout the rest of the year. Now, they didn't say necessarily what, but they actually made it kind of sound more like quality of life updates, which, again, I have something to say about that in a second. But some of the things that are being added is, being able to customize Henry's appearance, like the barbershop type thing, hardcore mode, which definitely seems pretty difficult, and I don't even know if I would give that a try, and then a horse racing. Okay, so those things start in the spring, and then they kind of overlap as time goes with the summer, autumn, and winter expansions. Those are obviously not free; those you have to pay for. Now, that quality of life thing, and even I guess you could say what they're dropping. When it comes to a hardcore mode, that oftentimes does get kind of grouped in with post-launch kind of updates. We're actually in the era where like New Game Plus doesn't even come out with games anymore, which I'm not a fan of, okay? But when every game does it, I guess it just sadly kind of becomes the norm. That one I don't really have a problem with, and in a way, I don't really have a problem with any of these. I guess here's kind of where I'm coming from, right? The game just needs to be complete. And so far, from everything we've heard, it doesn't sound like that has like gone astray, like we're in for a rude awakening there. The game seems good, the game seems complete, but we won't know for sure until we play it, or until people that you trust tell you, okay? One or the other. But that you do have to be careful of what you're drip feeding people when it's free, right? Because you can kind of give off the opinion. I've already seen this online from people's reception to this. You could give off the opinion of, okay, well, why weren't these things in the game to begin with, right? So like horse racing is probably a pretty good example of like, okay, could that have been in the base game, or is that something that you had to, for whatever reason, separate and give it to us 2, 3, 4 months down the line, right? Like, is there a hidden reasoning there, or no? Maybe it's honestly just very casual and there's no like hidden agenda there. But that's just something that, I think they got to be careful with, especially with like the quality of life updates. Again, like games get it. And games, if you get a game 6, 12 months after the game comes out, odds are you're getting it in a much better state than you get it at launch. And that's just, again, that's the industry now. People wait for sales more often. People do this, do that. So, I can respect it. I can get behind it. But you do have to be careful with that stuff. The game needs to come out in the best state possible and as complete as possible. It's possible to make a very good game even better as the months go on. And that's what I hope this is. And honestly, again, from like what we've seen so far and heard so far, that seems to be the path. They've really given me not a lot of reason to doubt them. But if the game comes out, if it's a buggy mess, if it feels incomplete, if it feels like, oh, hardcore mode actually made more sense to be in the base game, right? Or, being able to get them a haircut, right? That seems like it should have been in the base game. When you drop too many of those, or if the game's incomplete and it feels like it could have needed those things, then that's where those problems come in, right? So I will reserve judgment until the game honestly just comes out, because then we can get a better, sense of it all. But it is something that I'll be keeping my eye on, I guess throughout the entire year, honestly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.